you once again. But as we continue with the foundational lists.
Yes.
What's it on number 3? We come to
number 3, hydration.
Exactly, and water. So we all know that we need more water. Why is it so really important?
Yeah, water is number 3 on the list, and it takes its position there quite rightly because it is the medium of exchange throughout your entire body. We are about 2/3 water in our body, and which interesting fact for you, the Earth is about 2/3 of its surface is covered in water as well, and our blood is roughly the same salinity as seawater. So just another way that we're connected to this planet that we're on. But yeah, your body is predominantly water, and it is the medium of exchange for all chemical reactions and for everything that occurs in your body. So within your body, the hydration level, in just small fluctuations of that level of hydration in your body, can be quite devastating in its effect, especially towards the dehydration perspective, which a lot of people have heard about. Now, even with slight dehydration, it's been shown that many chronic diseases ensue. Everything from chronic fatigue syndrome to hypertension, heart disease, peptic ulcers, morning sickness in women, asthma, you know, the list can go on and on and on. In fact, I think it was Dr. Batman Geerlich who proposed the concept that up to about 80% of doctors' visits, perhaps more, I think he might have even said 90%, 80% of doctors' visits could be alleviated if people just drank enough water, and quality water at that. So it's quite a profound concept when you think that just the simple act of hydrating yourself can have such profound impact on your health.
So, given we know the importance of it naturally, exactly how much water should we be drinking?
Okay, well, for your body to be able to perform its processes of detoxification, especially if you're living in a toxic environment, it's better to go over and above, I believe, and make sure you've got ample amounts of water in your system. So it's hard to say for each individual how much they should be drinking, but the general rule of thumb is 0.033 litres per kilogram of body weight, or if you're working in the old imperial system, it'd be half your body weight in ounces of water each day. So that equates roughly, so half your body weight in ounces, or 0.033 litres per kilogram. And you can work out by how much you weigh, how much water that you need to drink. Now, this does not take into consideration if you're consuming dehydrating agents. And when I say dehydrating agents, I'm referring to substances like coffee, which is a strong dehydrator. Anyone that's drank coffee, you'll know about an hour afterwards you've really got an urge to go to the toilet, because your body's ability to be able to process that caffeine out of your body requires a draw upon its water supply to process it and get it back out. So your digestive system uses a couple of methods. It uses the urine system and the fecal system, so peeing and pooing out those toxins, and it requires quite a sum of water to be able to do that, especially for urination. So if you've got a lot of dehydrating agents coming in, sugars, coffees, teas, or you live in a very toxic environment with a lot of chemical creams putting on your body, then it's probably good to just go a little bit over that amount of water that's suggested to help to flush out that from your system. Yeah.
And what about the question of quality of water? That seems to differ, and it seems to be a lot mentioned about it, doesn't it?
Yeah, there is a lot mentioned about it. Most people are pretty much cottoned onto the concept now, and a lot of people are buying their water to drink. If I could spend a little bit of time on this, I think you'd be well informed from it. So you've got many different varieties of water. Your common tap water has been shown to have, I think there was a study released in the Brisbane water that showed it had around 243 known contaminants in that water supply. So if you're drinking water out of the tap, it's good to understand that you're having about 240 odd different known contaminants that are there in the water in some large amounts, some smaller amounts, going into your body that you then have to use that same water to flush out. So that's going to perhaps detoxify you, it's going to dehydrate you in the long run. So we've got a lot of contaminants in the water. Some of the big ones at the moment that are drawing a lot of controversy, the fluoride concept, which, yeah, that's a big one, and chlorine in water. So quality of water, yeah, there's a lot to it. With the chlorine concept, if I could just expound upon that for a moment. So in all your tap water, chlorine, if you drink it, your body absorbs the chlorine. If you shower in it, your body absorbs even more chlorine because of the amount of water you're putting on your body. And all it takes is for you to smell a person once they've got out of a chlorinated swimming pool and see how much chlorine is going in there. And remember, the chlorine gas was such a powerful gas that they were using in wars that they made it illegal to use in warfare because it was just so effective at killing people. So people are putting this into their body whenever they drink water. From that quality perspective, we can have a look at the bottled water and the different variations of bottled water that you've got access to. So there's distilled water, there's natural spring water, there's reverse osmosis water, there's artesian water, and there's a few other variations contained therein. I'm just going to have a drink myself.
And it's always bottled at the source. Have you ever noticed that?
Bottled at the source. Look, there's some very interesting studies that have been done on these bottled waters. Some of them are better than others. I recommend drinking water out of glass bottles rather than the plastic bottles, because the plastic tends to leach a lot of chemicals into that water, especially if it's been left in a very hot room or in the sunlight. Direct sunlight speeds the release of chemicals into water out of plastic bottles. So hold your water in glass bottles wherever possible. Keep it in a dark room and in a cool environment where possible, and that will stop any transition of baddies coming through. The type of plastic that you can store your water in is a type 7 plastic is the best. It's a polycarbonate plastic, and that has been shown to limit the amount of xenoestrogens going into the water. When we have a look at the different types of your water, your spring waters, your artesian waters, your reverse osmosis, your distilled, one of the good things to look at is what source is it coming from? What's that area like? Was there a lot of farms in that area that were using a lot of pesticides, and that's going into the soil, that's coming out into the water that they're bottling at the source? Is it a reputable company? If you're getting it from a water distributor, is that distributor, you could ask them, are they storing that plastic, the water in the plastic for long periods of time before it's delivered to you? Or has it been stored only for a matter of days or weeks at the most? Other things you can look at is the dissolved solid content in the water. Now on the back of all water bottles you're going to see a little section saying dissolved solids. Now you want to aim for 300 parts per million or more. Anything less than that, then your body is not getting the level of mineral content that it likes to get from the water. A great example of this would be people drinking distilled water, because it's stripped of all vitamin and mineral content, or mineral content. So, you have a question?
Yeah, exactly. Well, what about, like, isn't reverse osmosis supposed to have like a detrimental effect as well on the water?
Well, when you take out all those natural properties of water, then the water is more lifeless. And when I say lifeless and people think, well, it's water, is it really lifeless? When I discussed the studies of Dr. Emoto, we realised that water has a consciousness to itself. And if anyone's interested in this, just do a Google search on a gentleman named Victor Schauberger. And the studies that he did on water are really quite profound. He wrote a book called The Living Energies. And Victor Schauberger is, quite an amazing man. So you've got distilled water. So that's going to draw mineral content out of your bones, out of your body, to help to buffer that water. So I encourage people to have a high dissolved mineral content of 300 parts per million in their water or more. Another way you can do this, really quick, simple little hint for you, is to place a pinch of salt, Celtic sea salt or Himalayan rock salt, just a pinch in every litre of water that you consume. Now you shouldn't be able to taste it. It might create a greater sensation of mouthfeel to the water. You might find that it has a better viscosity to it, but it shouldn't taste of salt. And that's going to boost your health tremendously. Some tips there for you.
Oh, right. So that covers on the tips, and any other tips that anybody can focus on?
Well, at the end of the day, you want to drink lots of clean water, and throughout your day, sip it regularly. My recommendation to most clients is to Have 2 glasses of water about 20 to 30 minutes prior to every meal, and that will help to really stimulate your digestive juices and get your quota of the amount of water you're supposed to drink in a day up. Drink regularly throughout your day and add that little pinch of sea salt to every litre of water, and that will help to build back in some minerals into your system and really promote good health. Water is not just water. It's a wonderful thing, a wonderful health promoting tool that we can use. All right.
Excellent. Thank you, Terence.
Oh, you're
Thanks
welcome.
so much.
You're welcome.
Good stuff.